Testing, testing. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Peace, love, wisdom, crown. Lab coat astrologer, back at it again. Big 3 astrology. If you're into astrology, you come to the perfect place. Okay, so without further ado, this is what we're doing. And I'm going to be flopping, toggling between the hand-drawn chart as well as the screen share chart, going over some of these transits. Again, the transits are where the planets are currently located. And we have to update this chart because it is not 5 p.m. So we're going to update this. We're going to update this to the current time, my location. Each location across the world is different. And we're going to get some music going on here in a second. If the music's too loud, let me know. Pow. And here we have a chart for, we can even make this a little bit bigger, not too big, because we want it to still fit within the screen. And that's perfect right there. Cancer on the ascendant. How interesting is it that Cancer is on the ascendant? Oh, the music is on. Excuse me. The music is on. So Cancer is on the ascendant. Let's incorporate Cancer in the astrological chart here. I already have my chart here in the natural zodiac. Or I don't have the natural zodiac in there yet. I have it blank so that we can see the natural zodiac. So Cancer is rising. It looks like 5 degrees of Cancer is on the ascendant currently right now. And I would take my protractor, excuse me, on any other given Monday, I would take my protractor and I would line up 5 degrees so that I can get the equal house chart. I would get the equal house chart, which would denote 5 degrees on the ascendant. Let's go through this real quick. You're more than welcome to put your big 3 in the comments if you'd like, because this is a big 3 astrology, your big 3 astrology reading. So this is what I do and what I would do to denote 5 degrees Cancer on the ascendant. Becoming the architect of the astrological chart. Excellent practice here. This is what I did when I first started studying astrology and making sense of it all. And it really helped me significantly with breaking down the fundamental components of the astrological chart. I encourage anyone who's into astrology and reading charts and working on breaking down the components of the chart to draw the chart a little something like this. I encourage your own chart. But anyway, we have Cancer, as we can see here, on the ascendant. So I'm going to put Cancer on my chart so that we can look at some of the components. We can look at some of the components of Cancer. Cancer, first of all, is a water sign. So it deals with emotions and feelings. The moon is the ruler of Cancer. That's kind of clustered close together, but the moon is the ruler of Cancer. So if we locate where the moon is in the chart, it'll give us a little bit more of an idea of this energetic. The moon is currently situated in Leo, close to Venus in Virgo. Over the course of the next 3-4 hours, it's going to align perfectly with Venus. So we'll put the moon in Leo. Here, and the sun is the ruler of Leo. So we have the moon in the sun's house or compartment. Leo has to do with pride. It's a fire sign, so it's energetic. It's enthused. It's located in the second house. This is the second house. This is the first house. Cancer in the first house, Leo in the second house. We're denoting Leo because the moon is currently in Leo. It's been there for the past 2.5 days. And if we go back to our chart, we look for the sun, and the sun is currently located in Libra at 16 degrees. 16 degrees, 32 arc minutes, and 24 arc seconds. So we would plot that in our chart. Cancer, Leo, Virgo would be after Leo, and then Libra would be in the 4th house. And Libra is ruled by Venus. So this is the highlight that we have right now currently for the chart of the moment, with Cancer on the ascendant doing the big three. The moon is in Leo and the sun is in Libra. So what this means, the big three in astrology are significant features in the astrological chart because they're the lights. The moon is a light. It's very close in proximity to the earth. And the sun is a main light. It's the center of the solar system. It holds everything together. So in astrology, the sun and the moon are significant. The sun has to do with the core, your core character and identity. And when it's in Libra, it deals with balance and finding balance. 1 degree or 1 day after the middle, we're halfway through Libra, and then Scorpio's next on deck. So we have the sun energizing and giving light to balance, which is a key characteristic and archetype of Libra. We have the moon in the sign of Leo, which is willpower. And it comes out through the ascendant, through the emotions, through the feelings. Not for nothing, Cancer is my 9th house, which is the house of higher education and learning and growth. So what I'm saying is that if you're on the east coast of the United States, then this chart would be somewhat close to your location, because this chart is for the East Coast, New York, New York. And so what we have here, with Cancer on the ascendant, the moon becomes to be a focus. So this is enjoyment, looking for enjoyment and comfortability and security. The moon in Leo activates the sun. Well, the moon is actually a reflection of the sun's light, to be quite honest with you. Let's go a little higher with this so you can see the top of my head, so my head's not cut off there. So this energetic here, there's getting ready to be a conjunction of the moon and Venus, which denotes a harmonious, a pleasant, energetic. And because the moon is in Leo, it activates and highlights the sun. The sun is in Libra. right? So at the same time that the moon is in the sun sign, it creates this exchange between the sun and the moon. It kind of is the last marker, or I want to say like the vapors of a 5-month duration of Venus going retrograde through Leo. There was a mutual reception between Leo and Libra for quite some time. Now there's a shift with Venus now located in Virgo. There's a shift in the energetic, and there becomes a mutual reception with Virgo and Libra now. So after play, Leo is work. So now it's the work within the relationships, because Venus, the ruler of Libra, is in Virgo, and Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, is in Libra. So there's a play here, a tennis match of sorts, which is something that I've been calling it. I've been calling it a tennis match of energy. It brings a focus and a circuitry, a back and forth between the archetype of Virgo, which is analysis and details and perfectionism, right? When it comes to our financial position and what we appreciate and within our relationships, and to find that there's a balancing or a weighing and respecting the well-being of the partner, which is what Libra is. The zodiac sign of contracts and agreements is what Libra is. Working on agreements, working on contracts. So what I'm saying is that the location of Virgo and Libra in your astrological chart are highlights as we approach this new moon in Libra. And so there's some dynamics here. And I'm showing this here on the chart. Currently, right now, it is the first house, the second house, and the fourth house where most of the energetic is. Security within the home and the living conditions. Finding security through family and comforts. And so we have Virgo here, where Venus is located by the moon. They say, it is said, when there's a conjunction between two planets, both of the energies form together. They share. That's like sharing. Beauty and security and beauty and comforts. Getting ready to transpire here shortly. Getting ready to transpire here shortly. Okay, so we can go into this a little further. Balance. This is the main theme. So the moon is approaching a new moon. We're approaching a new moon where the sun and the moon are going to be together here in Libra. And so Libra becomes a main theme, a major focus. If we were to look at horary astrology, Libra being in the fourth house and talking about some of these mechanisms are fairness within the relationships within the home. This would be actually interpreting the well-being of Cancer risings. Those who are Cancer risings, this new moon is significant for relationships and agreements and verbal contracts within the family and the living conditions. Big time. For one testimony that it's the sun, that the sun is in Libra in the fourth house. For two, it's getting ready to be an eclipse, which brings an emphasis on Libra and the relationships with the moon there. Mercury is going to be in Libra as well, which it already is, which is a third testimony to relationships within the family. The South Node is also in Libra, which points to the dynamics and the relations. Oh, is this? Let me see this. Okay, no, it's accurate. All right, perfect. Okay, so that's 4 testimonies. Mercury, the Sun, Moon, and the South Node, all in Libra. And so at the same time, Libra has to do with balance. And the 4th house is a focal point. If we look to the ruler of Libra, which is Venus, and locate Venus in the astrological chart, it'll tell us a little bit more. For Cancer risings is what we're reading. The big 3 of Cancer risings. The children being born at this time, right? So Venus is currently located in Virgo here. It just arrived within the past couple of days, and it's going to be there for this new moon solar eclipse. And so Mercury is the planet that rules Virgo. So we have a tennis match going on through analysis and details and balance. Balancing details, analyzing the relationship, analyzing the contracts, analyzing what you've agreed to. Finding harmony and cooperation through work and through service. Whatever house location you have Virgo and Libra, that's a significant play for a good 2 weeks. A good 2 weeks. You're more than welcome to put your big 3 in the comments, your sun, your moon, your rising sign if you don't know it. If you don't know your big 3, you can put your big 1, your zodiac sign. Like and share. If you're finding enjoyment or knowledge here. I really like drawing the astrological chart and how it looks. Maybe it's me just liking my penmanship, but I really like it. Okay, so let's go in a little bit further with this. So we have Libra and Virgo as focal points during this solar eclipse getting ready to come up, approaching in Libra. And one of the features that I've noticed and recognized here with this new moon, which is beginnings for Cancer rising, is Capricorn's location. The significance of Capricorn. The significance of Capricorn because Pluto is situated in Capricorn at 27 degrees, actually, to be quite clear. Pluto's getting ready to approach Aquarius here pretty soon here around January 21st-ish. So we got some time for that. But this new moon is happening at 21 degrees. 21 degrees and 27 degrees is pretty close. It creates this square of 90 degrees. And squares equal challenges, tension, and it leaves room for growth. Room for growth. Between these two zodiac signs, between balance and the utilization of resources. And so because this square persists between Libra and Capricorn, it creates a little bit of tension for relationships, the house of relationships and transformations and changes in relationships due to the structure and the routines and the respect within the relationships and finding balance and the fairness within the home there. This is one significant feature, this Libra and Capricorn in the square here. And it kind of poses a challenge for all the cardinal signs, if you will. Cancer is... No, this Cancer is not here, excuse me. It's Aries is there, I made a mistake. And so another one of the benefits of doing these charts by hand is making mistakes. This is live, so you're definitely going to see me make mistakes. That's why you also want to do it in pencil. Anywho, Aries is across from Libra. So Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn become to be significant as well. Not only this mutual reception between analysis and the specifics and the details and the work within relationships and finding that balance, as well as with respect, Capricorn, in relationships. There's some tension there with the respect in the relationship and the consideration due to changes, Pluto, as well as the square that's created between the 4 cardinal signs. And I want to draw a square in here to denote the relationship between Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. Another one of the benefits to drawing the chart by hand is to be able to see a picture. Scientifically, our minds work and perceive and pick up and identify information through pictures. It's a perfect way in which to comprehend. So Libra, Capricorn, Aries, and Cancer. So we have the relationship between Virgo and Libra, a mutual reception. Right? Mercury and Venus. We have a square, Libra squaring Capricorn, involving Mercury, the Sun, the Moon, the South Node, and Pluto. And we have the square between Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So these focal points here, you can plug these main points, these highlighted points, into your astrological chart. Virgo, Libra, Capricorn, Aries, and Cancer. So when you look at the entirety of the chart and you say, oh wow, what do I look at first? What do I point to first? What do I look at? Well, you can recognize Virgo and Libra because there's a mutual reception with Venus and Mercury. You can denote the square between the Sun and Pluto and really all these planets. Mercury, the Sun. Mars is still here in Libra, but it'll be gone by Saturday, which is when the new moon occurs. So we have Virgo and Libra due to Venus and Mercury. We have Libra squaring Capricorn involving Pluto here at 27 degrees, which will square the new moon at 21 degrees. And then we have Libra, Capricorn, Aries, and Cancer, the 4 cardinal signs. There's no planets in Cancer, but we do have the North Node, which is always opposed the South Node that's situated here in Libra. It's not shown in this chart, but it's there. And we have Chiron at 17 degrees of Aries. Chiron actually at the time of the new moon is going to oppose Mercury exactly, which is another testimony. There's quite a few testimonies that point to the importance of communication in relationships, wherever Libra may be. With Chiron situated in Aries at 17 degrees, Mercury is also going to be at 17 degrees. There's going to be an exact opposition between Mercury and Chiron. And oppositions create a need for balance. This aspect is said to be challenging, but at the same time it involves 2 zodiac signs that are sister signs. Aries is a fire sign, And Libra is an air sign. So air actually feeds the fire. So the strength, look at that. We can interpret that and correlate that with the strength within the relationship through communication actually becomes to be an inspiration to one another. And working on some of the sore spots. Chiron is a wound, symbolizes wounds and healing. In the astrological chart. And that's the main features that I see. Now we can go into this a little bit deeper, unpacking and looking at the planetary rulers of the chart. The planetary rulers of the chart are a significant feature of the astrological chart. Okay, we have one. Welcome in, Amy. Scorpio ascendant, Leo sun, Taurus moon. Let's get it. We have to start from scratch again. Because the chart gets clustered. That's the only thing with this. It's one of the benefits to having these computers with all this technology. But I still like drawing the chart. And not for nothing, for people who constantly watching the lives, this is going to be kind of like a shortcut to getting an idea of the different components of the astrological chart through repetition. This is a perfect way in which to just watch and observe and comprehend through picture, through your mind's eye, your eye, your head's eye, your eye, and your mind's eye. Your mind eye view. Excellent exercise. Also, it's therapeutic too. It's therapeutic. And you get to see some of the major principles as your mind automatically starts to resonate on these principles here. One principle here is the 4 cardinal points. The 4 cardinal points. So if you're a Scorpio ascendant, we could take this. Scorpio ascendant has Taurus in the 7th, Leo in the 10th, and Aquarius in the 4th. So before we even get into your sun and your moon sign, the rising sign, one of the most important parts of the astrological chart, being Scorpio, makes for the 4 fixed signs to be impactful in your life. The intensity of Scorpio from the ascendant, from the persona. Scorpio is the detective of the zodiac, the transformer. Scorpio has the ability to transform. It's interesting to me how Scorpio and Aquarius are both fixed signs, and they're about change in their nature. Aquarius brings sudden and unexpected change. This right here is a testimony that points to intellectual pursuits with the home and the family, and a rebellion. Also, Aquarius is rebellious. When you were younger, possibly, you may have left home at an early age due to independence or the lack thereof. We can read the chart with just these 4. with relationships that possessiveness may have taken shape, or a very stubborn partner that's unwilling to change. The fixed nature is in the first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, and the 10th house. There's an enjoyment with work through and by work and or the working with children. Perhaps the first job was working with children or daycare or childcare or something like that. Or at an amusement park even, because Leo has to do with amusements as well. Leo's sun, so with that, the sun being in Leo, this makes for the father to be well known as well. The father to be well known with the sun in the 10th house, as well as the father being the boss, or having this type of authority, boss-like authority to it, because it's in the 10th house. The 10th sign is associated with Capricorn. So we're tying that in a knot there. And a Taurus moon. So you have your sun and your moon on the angles there. This makes for the mother to be so caring, right? And traditional when it comes to relationships. And there's almost like a fixation, Taurus, by the mother when you were younger in regards to who you hung out with and who you were with and all that. You see that? Okay, now let's add in this eclipse here that we're talking about, which is a transit. It's coming soon. It's Saturday. And it looks like it brings a focus to your 12th house. I think I remember I did. Did I do the eclipse with your chart? We're going to do it again. So the sun is going to be here. The sun and the moon are both located in your 12th house, which makes the 12th house shine brightly. And looking at self-improvement, this is an area and a compartment of self-improvement, as well as a transitional phase, with a looking at yourself like a detective with a very probing eye. You focus on the things that, the 12th house is the house of pet peeves. Right? So there's two testimonies that shine a light there. As well as Mercury is going to be here as well. Mercury is going to be here at 17 degrees. The sun and the moon are at 21 degrees. And so Mercury is exactly opposed at the time of the new moon, believe it or not. Mercury is in Libra at 17 and Chiron in Aries at 17 degrees. Now 17 degrees is the 6th house. So this focuses on your health, your service, your work as well. Your rest and your sleep and your work and routines, and creating these routines and getting into this rhythm of routines. Am I off to the side over here? Hang on, I'm kind of off to the side over here. Oh, we're off to the side. You know, it's a focusing on health routines and a looking back into the past. The South Node is here in the 12th house. And the South Node has to do with past life. It's at 24 degrees, or will be at 24 degrees at the new moon. And the North Node is always opposed the South Node at 24 degrees. So this axis becomes to be significant for you. The 6th house, 12th house axis. Very true about your parents. Thank you for the confirmation. Your sleep patterns and getting sufficient rest, whether you're working or not. But there's some changes. The 12th house is a retreating. This is the end of a cycle. This new moon is kicking off a significant change within you in regards to relationships and the lack of fairness within relationships. And so communication is essential in that regard. Now, this new moon that's occurring is happening in the 3rd decan of Libra. I want to add that in because it is the location of Gemini. As Gemini is the 3rd decan, is also the 3rd decan of Libra, which highlights Mercury and Gemini. So Gemini's location in the chart in the 8th house, which is the partner's communication, how the partner values communication as a resource, and talking about shared monies is what helps, is what helps out significantly. Not only with Gemini in the 8th house, but Mercury, which is the ruler of Gemini, is in the 12th house as well. So there's a secret sorrow there. There's a wanting or a wishing or a hoping or some changes that are made on the account of the partner's contribution, whether it be financially or through conversation. Well, that new routine is something that you're going to not only desire, you're going to come back to. It's going to be a theme over the course of the next year and a half. And that's because of the North Node. The North Node is like, it makes me think of like a video game. Not that I play video games or have time for them, but it makes me think about a video game. Like the part of the video game where there's a mission that you have to accomplish. And so whether your health is good or not, there's still a focusing and a recognizing the importance of health, and there's a mission for the next year and a half to improve the health. This is both mentally and physically. Why do I say mentally and physically? I say physically because the health is a physical thing, and I say mental health because it also has to do with and is correlated and connected to our physical health significantly. You see that there? So I want to add in here that Libra and Aries, the 6th house and the 12th house, are a significant axis. Your ability to get to sleep too, because of the thoughts that you have, allowing thoughts to meditate or to ponder maybe too long on a thing. There's a need to utilize health routines to assist the mind from looking back into the past and dwelling on it, is what that is. Moving forward towards goals that you set. I want to focus on how not only Libra and Aries become significant, but the other 2 cardinal signs, which will share with us a little bit more about this big 3. So Cancer is the 9th house. And Capricorn is the 3rd house. So this axis here, the 6th house, the 12th house, the 3rd house, and the 9th house become to be significators of the chart. The 3rd house has to do with the mindset on a day-to-day basis, working with, this is another testimony that points to routines, because Capricorn has to do with time and the utilization of resources, and time is a resource. So Capricorn and Cancer, which is the emotions and the feelings through growth and through learning and through utilizing what it is that you've learned in regards to the control of the emotions, right? So those are the main features for you. Those are some of the main features for you. It's your transportation issues as well, because the 9th house has to do with transportation. You might even think of taking a class, or because the 9th house has to do with journeys and traveling, right? I look at how the moon is the ruler of Cancer, And so the moon is going to be in the 12th house. So there's some secret sorrows on behalf of the relationships. And we also can look at your natal moon, which is in the 7th house. Boom. Right? So it has to do with some contractual engagement or agreements in relationships, and the reflecting on relationships from the past in connection to shared resources, the partner helping out through shared resources, and you having a mindset to grow with Cancer, and to reflect and to be able to retreat too. This is the 12th house, is the house of solitude. You've been more in your bag lately, wanting to be and reserve yourself a little bit more. Just leave me alone for the moment. I'll be right there. I just need a moment. Because the 12th house is there. Or the 12th house is the area of life that deals with reflection and solitude and self-improvement and pet peeves and changing some of the aspects, or looking at. The thing about that is, the tricky part about that is not to sit in it, if you know what I mean, in the sorrows of decisions in the past, and to know that you can do better. This is where the mindset comes in. This square between Libra and Capricorn, right? Pluto is located here. During this new moon, Pluto is squaring this 12th house. The 3rd house and the 12th house, they're having a duel there. They're having a duel. At the same time, you're reflecting, and the mindset is like, oh no, you got to go to work. You got to do this. You got to set a routine. You got to have structure. So it's through that exchange of energies where you grow and create a mindset on a day-to-day basis that works for you. That's what you're working with. You said you want to work on routines. You've already started. Whether they're to your liking or not, it has already begun. It has already begun. All right, who's next? Amy, do you have any questions? I've been doing charts like crazy here. I've been doing charts like crazy. If you're just getting here, you're more than welcome to put your big 3 in the comments. I'm looking at this astrological chart here. I'm talking about transits, and I'm also talking about this solar eclipse that's coming up here. The solar eclipse in Libra. And we can go over your big 3 and look at some of the significators with this new moon coming up, if you'd like. If you'd like. Or if there's an area of astrology that you want me to talk about with the transits and big 3s. I'm setting up here to draw another chart, to do another big 3 example, big 3 astrology, which is the position of the sun, the moon, and the rising sign at the time that you're born. Significant features in the astrological chart. Main features, because they are considered the lights. Now, there's other stars that shine bright and twinkle, but the proximity of the moon in the astrological chart, and the importance of the sun and what it does, not only in nature, but from an astrological perspective, it points to one's core identity, who you are at the core. So we're going to draw another astrological chart here. And when you start to put in the placements of the planets when you were born, the story develops even more. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. At the beginning, middle, and end of the day, regardless of your zodiac sign, this new moon because the sun and the moon are together in Libra, we can say has a lot to do with finding balance at the beginning, middle, and end of the day for the next 14 days leading up to the full moon in Taurus, which is what the next full moon will be after, or we're approaching a full moon in Taurus. A full moon in Taurus after the new moon in Libra coming up, this eclipse. And it's not a full eclipse, it's a partial eclipse. Who is next? Do you have Cash App? I do have Cash App. I sure do. Why didn't it work? I sure do. That's a L, that's not an I, it's a L. All right, who's next? And you don't have to send a Cash App. This is from the bottom of my heart, but if you'd like to, I'd appreciate it. If that's what your heart says, do it. But I've been doing this for a long time. I enjoy doing this. And I like that I have found a platform where I can share a chart, where I can show a chart that I use as well as show it on paper, because it breaks it down. It definitely breaks it down. The components of the astrological chart. And I think that this is one of the main things that people want to know. There are many components to it. And I think it's absorbed through repetition. When you constantly repeat in anything that we do, and if you were to repeat a chart of your own, you would start to see the story unfold. And not for nothing, following the transits is an excellent way to see how the story unfolds. Month by month, to track it. The same way that you keep a journal and you keep notes of, document and keep log of circumstances. When you start paying attention to the transits, you start to see patterns. Like people starting to come around the same time of a moon position or an aspect, if you will. I'm only focusing on a couple of the aspects of the chart because I'm thinking about how Jupiter is in Taurus as well. And so for Scorpio rising, you know, there is some benefits and opportunities at the same time that there's transitions and focusing on self-improvement. Jupiter in Taurus in the 7th house brings opportunities and growth there. So this is me talking about the deacons of Leo, the 3 deacons of Leo. All right, and we have another chart. Let's put Aries here. Let's show the natural zodiac. In the natural zodiac, Aries is naturally the first zodiac sign. Let's keep Leo there. We can keep Leo there. Sagittarius is the 9th zodiac sign naturally. And so the 1st house, 5th house, and 9th house are connected. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, it's the fire signs. Then it's Taurus. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The 2nd house, 6th house, 10th house. And then Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The 3rd house, the air family, 7th house, and the 11th house. And then it's Cancer, the 4th house, a water sign, connected with Scorpio, is also a water sign, the 8th house, and Pisces. This is actually the natural zodiac, the natural order of the zodiac. Sometimes I see different zodiac signs in the very first place, but it's Aries that's supposed to be there. Aries, the ram. And rams are said to be competitive. Rams are said to be competitive. Chiron is currently here, and the North Node is currently here, is going to be here for the next year and a half. Chiron is the symbol of, it looks like a key. It looks like an ancient key. And so it has to do with healing. Healing inside of the ram can be interpreted as healing from and through competition and competing in relationships. That's pretty interesting. The mission is the self, though, the I am, the I. I am that I am. Because of the North Node, that's a year and a half transit. Taurus is the bull, which has to do with values and possessions, money, resources. Jupiter is currently here, and Uranus is here. Uranus is said to be at its fall in Taurus, believe it or not. I find it interesting that Uranus is in its fall in Taurus, and Taurus has to do with finances and the current state in the world and the change and the shifts, sudden and unexpected changes and shifts with the stock market, as well as money, as well as, money, online money, or the transfer, the change over the course of the next 5 years. Be some significant changes in connection to the way that we spend money, the way we look at money, the way money is utilized, an exchange in value. Taurus is about values. And so Jupiter's here. This is actually a high, I don't want to say a high, I want to say a highlight, an opportune time to take advantage or to acquire through technological forms of currency and whatnot. That might be stocks. Interesting. We might have to do some of that. Because after Jupiter leaves Taurus, it'll be in Gemini. Uranus will be here all by itself, which will be unpredictable in regards to the finances. So there's a need for savings. All the while Jupiter is in Taurus. That's pretty interesting. Gemini is the twins, and it has to do with duality. There's no planets located in Gemini right now. The key motto is I think. It has to do with the thought processes and the mindset, the location of where it is. Cancer is the crab. Not to say that cancers are crabs, but Cancer is associated with the crab, which is said to be protective. It's also the scarab beetle. It's the scarab beetle. It's also the tortoise from my perspective. The tortoise carries its home on its back. Cancer is a zodiac sign that has to do with the home and the family. The crab has a hard protective shell. Thus, Cancers are said to be protective of their family. The scarab beetle is instinctual. The scarab beetle actually climbs on the top of the dung ball, believe it or not. You know, if it ever gets lost, and it uses the universe, the galaxy, and the stars to navigate its location to find where it is. I think that's pretty interesting, dealing with instincts. So these are kind of mnemonics that you can add in to be reminded of the natures of these zodiac signs. Cancer's key motto is I feel. And it becomes significant with this new moon in Libra here, with our feelings and our emotions and the location of the moon in the chart. Leo is the lion, the king of the jungle or the queen of the jungle, and it points to authority. Key motto for Leo is I will. And the planetary ruler is the sun. Venus has just left Leo within the past couple of days. Venus was retrograde here, so Leos are kind of looking for love, or still in that love spell, if you will. Virgo is the maiden or the virgin. It deals with purity. Key motto is I analyze for Virgo. Deals with health and hygiene and cleanliness. Venus is currently here now within the past couple of days. And so it makes Venus and Virgo a significant feature with this new moon, which points to the health, both physically and mentally. Because Mercury is the planet that rules Virgo, and it's located in Libra here. Libra is the 7th zodiac sign. It is the scales. Deals with balance, fairness. The sun being in Libra is actually in its fall. Not only is the sun in its fall, there's a correlation with the time of year, September 21st, which is the fall of the sun per se. And it can correlate to how Libras shine a light on and value the partner's well-being as opposed to their own well-being, which would be the opposition, Aries. Interesting there. Key motto for Libra is I balance, naturally, as it is the scales. It is so much of balancing the scales. It points to equality and justice. I heard someone say it deals with the sovereignty, our sovereignty. It's interesting. Libra has to do with the courts and the court system, as marriage is a contractual agreement that takes place in the courtroom, where we find scales and symbols of justice and equality with a judge. I say that Libra is the judge, right? We find in the courtroom that we have the judge, and there's two parties. There's the plaintiff and the defendant, and there's a weighing of and deciding on the truth, on sharing the truth in the courtroom. Scorpio, did I say I balance? Yes. Libra is ruled by Venus, thus this mutual reception between Venus, the ruler of Libra, and it being located in Virgo, and Mercury in Libra, the ruler of Virgo. They're in each other's sign, which has to do with the health and the relationships. This is a significant play for the next 2 weeks. Here, Virgo and Libra, and the location of Virgo and Libra. Scorpio is a water sign. Key motto is I desire. I say that Scorpio is the Sherlock Holmes of the zodiac, the detective. You know, it has to do with extreme emotions. as I assume that when the detective finds a clue, they get excited. Amongst other things, there's a slew of other things that we can go into, but I don't want to go too deep into Scorpio's nature. Significant shift in the temperature I've noticed through the years of study when the sun transits Scorpio in the next 2 weeks, and the change and shift of temperature. Scorpio is the scorpion. Sagittarius is the archer, right? It's also it's half man or half woman, half horse. And the horse portion of Sagittarius has to do with its traveling features. All right, I connect, well, first let me go here. Travel, Sagittarius is the traveler, as well as gurus. It points to gurus. It points to college. It points to tertiary education. In that regard. And I'm making the connection to higher learning too. It's higher learning and to explore. And traveling and higher learning are synonymous. The same way that when you travel to a distant land or you go somewhere, you know, that's different, that's new, that's a further journey than you're used to, you usually learn something. Even if you don't learn something, you observe something new, there's a newness there that expands your horizons in some way, shape, or form. Which is the same thing as education, what education does when you go to college, or any tertiary education or classes that you take that add into and value that can be applied towards working on a certain career or status and reputation, which is Capricorn. Capricorn is the goat. It deals with utilization. Key motto is I utilize, is Capricorn. It deals with our career and our public image. It also points to recognition and what we're recognized for and what we're known for, because it is the public, a public place, public places. I associate the goat. It's interesting to me how goats, you know, they're constantly climbing and scaling the mountains, the mountainside, these heights, at crazy odds to gravity. It's just, it's amazing there. But they say, there's this saying, bird's eye view, right? You ever heard that saying, bird's eye view? There's also the goat's eye view. I'm tying in the goat's eye view because the bird eye view sees higher than the goat, but the goat does see pretty high when it's up there at the top. Thus, therefore, Capricorns are said to be the boss, the CEO who's on the top floor of the office. Thus, Capricorn is about control. And it's not necessarily control in a bad way. It's a control because Capricorns can see the bigger picture. Notice the goat at the top of the mountain, not a bird eye view, but a goat eye view, which can see a little bit more than those who are at the bottom of the mountain, per se, right? Key motto is I utilize or I use for Capricorn. Aquarius is mankind. I call Aquarius the scientist of the zodiac. You know, Aquarius is said to be different. You know, Aquarius is the intellectual, the changeability of one's intellect to fixate on an idea, right? It's electrical. Aquarius has to do with technology, Frankenstein type things. Franken. I don't know how the N is, it E-N or I-N? Frank. We'll put I-N. Stein. Franken, Stein. Okay, Frankenstein. I also have this zodiac sign of Aquarius, this mnemonic of Aquarius, this up and down these zigzag lines, to be an aid to remind you of the positive and the negative current with electricity. Thus, Aquarius has to do with ether, ether, however you want to spell it. It's two different forms. It has to do with ether, it has to do with space, you know, and aeronautics and ideas. You know, Aquarius could be looked at as the Nikola Tesla. Interesting. Nikola Tesla. A modern Frankenstein, right? Because Nikola Tesla was into technology and electricity. You know, thus Aquarius is connected to inventions and inventing, ways in which to reach goals and aspirations, which ties into the 11th house, goals and aspirations, right? Which connects to networking, is also this same compartment, and collaborating. And then last but not, key motto for Aquarius is I know. And then we have Pisces. Pisces is the fish. I also have Pisces as the chameleon, because the chameleon changes and adapts to its environment. Pisces is an adaptable zodiac sign. It's mutable. Key motto for Pisces is I believe. It has to do with beliefs and our belief systems. It has to do with spiritual things and hidden, that which is hidden and mysterious. Our internal self, that which is most internalized. Secrets that not too many people know about. Your secrets is the 12th house, and Pisces connected there. Okay, we just started going on a little flow there. That was a nice little flow. And so there's the zodiac there with some add-ons from the Lab Coat Astrologer. Let me sign this thing. Boom, bam, pop. All right. Welcome if you're just getting here. If you have any questions, I'm doing Big 3 astrology, but I just am ripping and running through this astrological chart. Looking at this chart here, this is a transiting chart, and I'm incorporating the location of the planets in your Big 3. If you choose to participate, you're more than welcome. Looking at and talking a little bit about this solar eclipse, this new moon solar eclipse that's coming up here pretty soon at 21 degrees of Libra. That's another feature. Who is next? Who is next? I'm going to draw another chart here. If you enjoy or are enjoying the live, I encourage you to like, share, subscribe. I'm going to be doing these Big 3 astrologies for a while here. Not just today, but I'm always going live, doing live astrology. If you're new, welcome. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask questions or put your Big 3 in the comments. I appreciate constructive criticism. If the music is too loud, let me know so I can fix it or lower it. I don't want it to be too low, but I don't want it to bust anybody's eardrums either. either. So we're going to go back over these transits. Are you looking at viewers' charts? I am looking at viewers' charts. Just the sun, moon, and ascending sign, and I'm incorporating the sun, moon, your sun, moon, and rising sign, and I'm looking at the transits here. And I'm showing a chart. I'm doing another one right now. I'm showing it by hand, step by step, of how I'm arriving at what I arrive at from this astrological chart, these transits, as well as the new moon solar eclipse that's coming up. I kind of have an idea of where the planets are. I've been looking at that chart as well. So I'm just going to freestyle with your big three. Freestyle astrology with the freestyle big three. What would it be? It would be big three astrology freestyle with the lab coat. The artistic nature of astrology is how the individual puts the pieces of the puzzle together. Libra, Leo, Sag, is that sun, moon, rising? Is that sun, moon, rising? Is that Libra, sun, Leo, moon, Sag, rising? I'm curious. Sometimes people put it in different arrangements. Let me know if it's some. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, perfect. So we're going to do you here, or we're going to do your astrological chart here on, we're going to do it here. And I'm using this chart here as a reference point for me. Libra, sun, moon, rising. Happy birthday to you, for one. We see that there. Libra, Leo, Sag. We have Sagittarius on the ascendant. And the first house, the first compartment. This is the lens in which you show through your adventurous nature. One of the main characteristics for Sagittarius is adventurous, or one of them. Because it's the arrow and how the arrow travels and soars through the sky. It's to always be on the move and on the go. Sagittarius, the symbol of Sagittarius, this is not only an arrow, but it symbolizes the centaur, archer, half man, half woman, half horse. Half man, half horse, half man, half woman, half horse. Half person, half amazing, always on the go. Sagittarius. Its philosophical education and religion played a significant role early on in the life. Sagittarius is a fire sign, so there's an enthusiasm and an energy that runs through you. You're always energetic and optimistic for the most part, right? Jupiter is the planet that rules Sagittarius. Thus, therefore, Jupiter is a planetary ruler for you. I don't know if you knew that or not. Sagittarius is your planetary ruler. Libra is here naturally for you, the sign of the scales of balance in the 11th house, which is the house of friendships. A lot of activity there. A lot of your core identity and character is created and founded through friendships and associations, which is very important to you with the sun there. It also makes you somewhat of a counselor to friends, and being there and the fairness and doing more for friends than they do for you, and having to weigh and balance and all that. For the past 2 weeks, you would have experienced that. Right around your birthday, there's a circumstance with friends where that takes place, potentially. Leo is your moon sign. That's here in the 9th house. So with your sun, moon, and rising sign, we see a focus of the 9th house, which is a teaching house. Perhaps the mother was a teacher or a traveler or a rolling stone in some regard, or a guru or taught classes in some way, shape, or form, or was religious. Higher education and schooling was significant, not only in the early childhood, but doubly. Another testimony points to the mother's influence in that regard. The father becomes to be more of like a friend, right? And a getting along with authority and the respect for authority figures. This combination here, you see how it's every other sign there? Leo, Libra, Sagittarius. These zodiac signs work together with one another. Leo is a fire sign. Libra is an air sign. And Sagittarius is a fire sign. Right? I find when the sun or the moon are in harmonious aspect or relationship to the ascendant, it adds to the adventurous nature. It's supported through the mother. The mother supports you with the schooling. Significantly there. And so we could tie in this eclipse. You're welcome. We can tie in this eclipse that's taking place, which brings a highlight to the 11th house here. It brings a highlight to the 11th house. Mercury is here. So the words and the conversations and the things that are said back and forth through the friends and with the friends. It also has to do with collaboration with friends through and by, networking, and setting long-term goals for yourself, thinking about the future and the relationships with friends and the fairness within friends. The new moon being here is significant for past life type-like experiences to manifest, because the south node is currently here and it's an eclipse. So it shines a light. There's some hidden things. There's some shadow work in connection to the fairness in friends or with friends and relationships and cooperation, doing to others as you'd like done unto you, from friends from long ago or new friends that are similar to past relationships with friends, and fairness there, right? Because Venus is the planet that rules Libra, Venus becomes to be a significator with friends. And because Venus is currently located in Virgo, it has to do with some connection with friends and work. Friends and work, there's a pay, there's a tennis. Why am I sitting there like that? Oh, wow. Why am I? Interesting. I wasn't supposed to be. When did that happen? Oh, now we're all discombobulated. I don't know how that happened. What happened there? When did I turn to the side? No one let me know I was just hanging out to the side over there? Y'all started doing me. All right, so Venus, the ruler of Libra. Peace, how are you? Welcome, I see you, Sag, Sun, Scorpio, Moon, Cap. We'll get to you after this little surface here. So Venus is in Libra, or Venus is the ruler of Libra, and it's located in Virgo. And Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, and it's located in Libra. So there's like a tennis match between work and friends and collaborating with friends and the back and forth there. Do you see that? How that combination goes? See, this is supposed to be Venus here. Peace.
Peace. TikTok live?
Not YouTube live. So Venus is currently, just within the past couple of days, Venus has ingressed into Virgo. So this might be a little bit new, but over the course of the next 2 weeks, this is going to be a major feature. Yeah? It's going to be a major feature. What else did I want to talk about here? Okay, I wanted to talk about this here, Capricorn. Capricorn becomes to be a player with this new moon eclipse in Libra in the 11th house, because Capricorn is in the 2nd house for you, which is the house of money and finances. Now wait till you get a load of this. Pluto is the planet. I don't know if you've heard, or anybody's in this chat has heard, how Pluto is a significant feature to this eclipse. Pluto is the planet of transformation and rebirth to your finances and the way that you spend significantly. Sagittarius always being on the go. this new moon emerges an activation of long-term goals for you and a need to activate long-term goals, right? To assist with your spending habits. I'm not saying that you have an issue, but perhaps that could be a feature. This new moon adds in and ties in your values as well as your resources, your financial resources and your spending. Okay, now boom, I also want to add in another feature to this new moon in Libra in your 11th house, Gemini. Gemini is significant, which is some of your relationships, they actually become to be helpers. Maybe these friends are helping you, but there's some type of help that you get from a partner. And the reason why I say that is because this new moon in Libra is happening at the 21st degree of Libra. The 21st degree of Libra, utilizing the decant method, right? The 21st decant is the third decant, is known as the third decant, which is the Gemini decant, which activates and highlights Gemini. This is why I say that this new moon creates a partnership and a bond with a friend. Interesting. That looks like some type of contract or agreement. Whoa. How does that resonate with you? Oh, you also have Mercury in Libra. Yeah, so that's an old friend. That's old friends coming from the past. Possibly. That you end up finding yourself through and by work. Right? Oh, girl, I ain't see you. Or person, I ain't see you. Excuse me. Hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. How you been? Bop, 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 bop. Through work. Because this mutual reception, you know, there's a tennis match here. Okay? Do you have any questions? That's a little bit with the new moon in Libra in your big three. That was a good one. All right, let's see who's here. Thank you for sharing, Neoma. I appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Yes, it does resonate. I have 3 close friends who are Gemini moons. Interesting. Are you probably currently contracting with them and collaborating and sharing of ideas and brainstorming and getting ready to conquer the world, aren't you? I didn't expect for such an awesome turnout here. This is awesome. Thank you for joining and hanging out with me with this astrology. If you're into astrology, you come to the perfect place. I encourage you to like, subscribe, share, do what thou wilt. But if you're looking for a perspective in astrology, you come to the perfect place. I'm about to draw another chart here to do another rising sign. Another big three, rather. Thank you for your patience. It takes a little bit of time, but not much time. And the time that I'm taking to draw this astrological chart is saving you time, because you don't have to draw the chart and you get to watch me piecemeal your chart and make sense of some of the components of it, which is beneficial. That's how I'm adding value to you. By sharing with you a perspective of astrology, something that I've been doing well over 2 decades. And I think that it's important. It's a tool that can be utilized for knowledge of self. Okay, who do we have here? Okay, we had a couple. Neoma, we did Neoma. Hey, my first live. Sag, Sun, Scorp, Moon, Cat, Moon. Who's here? Who's not here? Who left? Who's next that would like to go next? Who's here that would like to go next? Because I see some people had to go to bed. I hope the music is not too loud and it sounds perfect. It probably is perfect, because if it wasn't, someone would let me know, or you wouldn't be here, right? Okay. Kamor is here. Okay, we're going to do Kamor first, and then I'm going to do Mr. Joseph, because I'm looking at the order here. Thank you for your patience. All right, let me move rhythmically here. Okay, we're doing the astrological chart. I'm almost finished drawing this here. And I say that everybody's all 12 zodiac signs. Right? What did you press to fix it? What did I press to fix the screen of me right here? It's still not fixed. It's got me chopped. Actually, it's got me all weird. It's got me all weird. I don't know why it's doing this. It's switched the goddamn, excuse my French or Spanish. All right, let's dig into this. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to figure it out later, honestly. Kamora, Taurus, Sun, Libra, Moon, Gemini rising. Okay, Gemini rising is here. All right, focus in on me here. There you go, buddy. All right, Gemini is here. Let's do a different pencil so you can see what I'm doing, actually. Gemini is here, is the ascending sign. The ascending sign is actually this point. Believe it or not, is this point. This compartment here is the first house. And with Gemini in the first house, it is said that Gemini is the communicator of the zodiac. You are the helper. You are the help. Some great ideas. And I say you are the help for the simple fact that Libra, the full moon in Libra, or excuse me, I keep saying full moon, pardon me. The new moon in Libra with the sun and the moon here is happening in the Gemini decan of Libra, which there's a tie and there's a connection to your first house, your personality, and how you come across to other people, and the insight and the ideas. Gemini risings have great common sense. You know, Gemini gets a bad rap, but it's actually an air sign, which points to intellectual pursuits. Gemini is super curious. I don't know why I said super. I'm working on not saying super with my delineations, but there's that. Let's move forward here. I'm stalling here. Hang on. Okay, did I miss it? Taurus Sun. Okay, so Taurus is here. You have a Taurus Sun. I find that when the Sun is in the 12th house, there's not the best and the most tight bond with the father, per se. Let me see here. Libra Moon. So you have the Sun in Taurus and a Libra Moon. So this new moon activates a lunar return. Interesting. The 9th house has to do with travel and transportation, what I spoke about before. So the new moon has to do with education. This is perhaps going back to school or taking a class or classes, right? It also points to your transportation. You know, it's something new. It becomes to be a highlight. Because it's an eclipse, right? It may not be the best circumstances there. And there may be some challenges on the behalf of somebody else, or something's, you know, in the way, or there's some shadow work there, which might bring some challenges with you achieving what it is that you want, but it still comes. This is the compartment or area that's of highlight. I don't know why you're not focusing in on me there. Okay. Wait, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius is in the 5th. Yeah, Libra's in the 9th. Taurus, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not right. That's wrong. I made a mistake. And that's one of the benefits of doing these charts here is making mistakes. I will make a mistake. I'm not afraid to say that. And when I make mistakes by doing it by hand, right? I want it to be perfect every time, but it's not, and I'm learning to fall in love with making mistakes. Excuse me. I was wondering, and the reason why I caught that is because Libra and Taurus are not square. Libra is actually the 5th house. So retract that schooling environment. That was a whole mistake. Libra is the 5th house. Correction. Aquarius is the 9th house. So this new moon, let's try this again. Your natal moon is in Libra. So the 5th house is the house of love, is a theme. Self-love, as well as love affairs, as well as associations and connections with children, the relationship with children, whether they be yours or someone else's children. The 5th house points to children there. So we can see with your big 3, not only is it the Gemini in the 1st house, but it's the 5th house and the 12th house. Interesting. Interesting. And the reason why I say that that's interesting is because Venus is the ruler of Libra and Venus is the ruler of Taurus. So this new moon solar eclipse has a lot to do with Venus's location here in the 4th. Your living situations. Interesting. Become to be a highlight. There's a tennis match, a mutual reception between home life and love life, children and family and security and love. Do you want to say something?
No.
Okay. So Venus has just ingressed into Virgo. I want to show you this here for those who are watching. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Venus and Virgo. This is a transit. Why is there half of me? This is not, I don't know why is that doing that. You know what we can do? We could do this. I'm gonna disappear for a minute. Hang on a second, I'm disappearing. We gotta fix this. Bear with me for a moment. Technical difficulties. I was having no issues before. I have no idea. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what happened, but we're gonna have to keep flowing here. You can hear me. Yes in the comments if you can hear me. Something happened to my camera. I have no idea what happened to it. Just when you think you got it figured out. Yes in the comments if you can still hear me. No idea what happened to my camera. Maybe you can't hear me either. Can't hear me or see me. That's crazy.